If you would like to replace your monthly income as fast as possible, I'm going to show you 5 things which stop most people. Number 1 stopped me for so long, but number 5 is what stops most people, and it's so easy to fix. Number 1, I cannot believe this stopped me and held me back for so long, but it's looking for a miracle moment. A miracle moment is when you think there's going to be this special moment in time where everything's just going to change. And this is where you need to be extremely careful, because as a Christian, I believe the Bible, and there's loads of miracles in the Bible from beginning to end, and I believe them, right? And the reason I say you need to be careful is because when you believe the miraculous is so easy for God, which it is, it's easy to fall into the trap which I fell into, which is to think, you know what, I know I'm in this current situation right now, and it would be easy for God to just say a word and it will change and transform everything. And God's going to do that for me. And I believe that for a long period in time, that there's going to be this miracle moment, this special thing which is going to happen. Either I'm going to meet this special person, or I'm going to have this special day or this special feeling, and then all of a sudden things were just going to be fixed. But the reality is, life doesn't work that way. So I had to get myself to the place where I was telling myself, stop believing a miracle's coming, because it's not, at least not yet. Because the fact of the matter is, miracles happen for people who are primed and positioned for the miracle to prosper them. But most people are not prepared for a miracle. People use examples like this, and I know it'll be helpful for you because it's helpful for me as well. So think about this, like, imagine if today you just were overwhelmed with 1,000 new customers in your business. Monetarily, you'd be happy, but how are you going to service and deal with all of the problems and obstacles and struggles that you have to overcome and deal with that new bandwidth? The more and more I realized that a miracle wasn't going to come by me just standing still and hoping and praying. It's like that famous story you hear from time to time. There's a guy stranded at sea, and there's a lifeboat, and the guy goes, and the guy says, you know what, no, I'm not going to get on a lifeboat because I'm waiting for God to bring me a miracle. Then the story is told in different ways, but the main storyline is the same. Then someone comes by on a ship or on a boat, and they're like, look, we've come to save you. And he says, no, I'm not going in this ship. I'm not coming in I'm not letting you rescue me because I'm waiting for God to save me. Like multiple stories, multiple things like that happen, and then eventually the guy dies. Then in heaven, he's speaking to God, and he's like, God, why didn't you save me? I was waiting for a miracle. And God's like, well, look, I sent this, and I sent this, and I sent this, and I sent this. What were you expecting? And it's the same kind of mistake I find myself in for a long time, really thinking like, you know what, God is eventually going to do something which is going to catapult and to skyrocket the success. But thinking back to it, like, I know like God is the all-wise one. So for God to put me in a position or a scenario which I couldn't handle wouldn't be wise. It would actually be foolish. And God is wise. He's not foolish. He will never do that. The kind of person God would put in that scenario, the kind of person God would put in that predicament is someone who can handle it, someone who's prepared for it. So number one, don't allow waiting for a miracle moment like I did to stop you from replacing your income as fast as possible. If you want this to happen, do the work, take the action, create the content, sell the product, offer the product, and allow people to buy it from you, so you can start to see more and more miraculous things happen as you take actions, as you take steps in the right direction. Number two is so vital, and it's a shame that most people don't speak about this, and this is your mindset. I was watching this podcast recently, and they're talking about why some people are successful and other people aren't. They're going through all of the actions. You know what? These are the actions that people who don't get results take. These are the actions that the people that do get the results take. And one of the things which was missing, and it was so obvious, was the mindset. Because I was thinking to myself, well, yes, these are the two actions, but if you don't have the mindset, you are never going to produce those actions. So think about it like this, right? Imagine you've got two people. Imagine you've got someone who's overweight, and then you have somebody who's in good shape. Imagine if now, all of a sudden, they switch bodies. They didn't switch minds, but they switched bodies. It wouldn't be long before this person who is now overweight, but came from the healthy body, would revert back to here. And it won't be long before the person who was overweight, but is now in this body, goes back over here and is in the overweight body. It's not because of the actions in and of itself. The actions are just a byproduct of the mindset, the thoughts, and the beliefs. This is why they say like 90% or 95%, basically most of the people who win the lottery within a couple of years, they go broke. Why? It's because you can give somebody the tools, you can give somebody the actions, but if the operating system, right, is not working, is not functioning, if the operating system, in fact, is not installed, you are going to revert the default settings. So the actions to replace a full-time income are great, but they only come and are only workable, they're only used long-term when the mindset is correct. You need to have the mindset. If you want results, the best way to reverse engineer it is to get the mindset, the thoughts and the beliefs that people that have those results have. And this is why the third thing I want to share with you today is so vital, and that's money. Most people believe that they have a money problem. When they don't have a money problem, they have a mindset problem. So for example, a belief that some people have, typically poor people or unwealthy people have, is that they need money in order to make money. And that's not true. This is how many people can make money without having any money, because they have something which is more valuable than money, which is the mindset. And with your mindset, the correct mindset, you can create money, you can create resources through communication of your ideas. So for example, it doesn't take any money for you to be creative. Israel, what do you mean? So for example, I've got a product right now which sells every single day. It's called 24/7 leads. In that product, I show people how to get leads rolling into their business 24/7. It didn't take me any money to create that product. What did it take? It took creativity. It took me thinking about what expertise, what information do I have which can solve a big pain point in the marketplace. But the reason I can get to those results is because my mindset is in the right place. My mindset isn't focused on, I lack money, I lack resources. My mindset is more focused on, well, what are the wise things that I can do to serve my customers and potential customers in a way which gives them the insights to know that Israel can help me in the things he's talking about. I mentioned Stevie in a video I did recently where I was talking about a proverb where it talks about the less and less I focus on money and the more and more I focus on wisdom and being wise, the more money that will come towards me. Because all throughout the Bible's talking about how wealth is attracted to wisdom. So if you really want wealth, really what you should do, and long-lasting wealth, is be wise. And it's only a matter of time before the wealth starts coming your way. Now, number 4 is a deadly one. And this is one which hurts me so much when I see so many people doing this. But that is multiple methods. And I'm going to be a bit cheeky here and even say multiple methods which lead to madness. And what I mean here is so many people are so focused on multiple different things instead of one thing and having focus. I love the way the Bible talks about over and over again. It's like, don't look to the left, don't look to the right, don't look anywhere. Just meditate on my word, God says, and then you will have success. You see, focus instead of having a multiplicity of methods that you're trying to do. You've got so many people out there who, I'm going to try this one day, and then next day I'm going to try this, and then I'm going to try this, and then I'm going to try this, and then I'm going to try this. There's many methods out there that work. That's not the problem. Normally it's focusing long enough on one solution and using it over and over again. You see, multiple methods isn't an issue as time goes on, as you have more resources and more bandwidth and you have a bigger team. But when you're in your starting stages, in the initial stages, you need to focus more so heavily on one thing. For me, for example, I focus on my business. I could be doing other things. I've done other things in the past. I'm sure I'll do other things in the future. But my main focus is here. I'm focusing on this thing and I'm going deeper and deeper down it. Financially, the things that I do all have to gravitate towards the business. If it isn't, then I'm not going to be interested in it. And that's the blueprint to success. Don't copy what many of these other people are doing who are broke or don't have the things that you desire. Focus. If you study wealthy people, one of the things you continue to see is that all of them focus for a serious amount of time. And even when it gets to, so even I spoke about business, but then even within the business, I'm going to now focus on specific things in the business which can move the business further and further forward. Now, I mentioned earlier on, number 1 was the one, no pun intended, which stopped me for so long. But number 5 is the one which stops most people. And that is a message which is reaching a mediocre amount of people instead of a multitude. Most people fall short of replacing an income as fast as possible in their business or the thing that they're doing because their message is only going out to a meager amount, a very small amount of people instead of masses. And the reason this is so significant is because I mentioned this earlier on. If you don't have leads, you don't get sales. But in order to get leads, you need traffic, you need people coming into the door, coming into your content, getting into awareness of your business in order to potentially consider becoming a lead, and even more so to be potentially becoming a customer or a repeat customer. So you have to think about this. This is one of the most significant things that you need to focus on. Getting the thing you believe, your message, out to many more people. And if you'd like to know how to do that in a very good way, I want you to watch this video right here. It's a video where I talk about what I would do if I was starting my business again from scratch. Go in and God bless winners.